Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to explain to you what artificial intelligence is. Now, a very simple and informal definition of AI or artificial intelligence is that AI gives new capabilities to computer systems by simulating or mimicking cognitive processes. And by cognitive processes, what I mean is anything that requires or demands or depends on the use of the animal brain. And I use animal here to represent humans and any other animals that are able to depict cognitive abilities, okay? That is the use of the brain, the biological brain in their biological system. So when we say artificial intelligence is a way of simulating such cognitive abilities or a way of helping computers or letting computers be able to perform cognitive tasks. And you might not appreciate how difficult some of these things are because as humans we're able to do things without necessarily sitting back to reason about how we are able to do them. For example, you wake up and then you are able to recognize something like a cup or a spoon or a table. And these things come so naturally that we never sit back to think about it and ask ourselves, how are we able to know that this is a table? And the beauty of it is that you have not seen all tables in the world yet, and yet if you see any table that you have never seen before, any design or model or make of a table that you have never seen before, your brain is able to backtrack using some patterns that are common to what we call a table or what you know as a table, and is still able to figure out that, this thing I am seeing right now looks like a table. And like I said, it comes so naturally to us that we do not sit back to reason about all the biological and chemical processes that have to go on in the brain for us to be able to perform such activities. And the only moment it dawns on you how difficult these things are and causes you to appreciate them is when you are tasked with the job of helping computer systems to replicate such abilities. And then you realize it is not as easy as you think. So AI is a branch of computer science that gives capabilities, new capabilities to computer systems by simulating or mimicking cognitive processes. AI is an umbrella term, and underneath it we have machine learning, we have deep learning, and all sort of different types of learning that we will be talking about in this course. Now let's look at examples of AI. One example of AI is natural language processing, helping computer systems to understand natural language. If I type something like, John is a king, how do you get a computer to understand it? That is natural language processing. How do we get a computer to understand text? That is natural language processing. The fact that you are able to type on a computer doesn't mean the computer understands what is going on there at all. It is only a representation of what the keyboard is feeding into your system unit, okay? But natural language processing helps to let the computer systems understand human language or natural language, and that is an example of AI. A second example of AI is speech recognition. I am sure you have all seen things like Alexa or Google Home or any of these personal assistants that you can speak to, those virtual assistants that you can speak to. If you speak to Google Home or you speak to Alexa, and Alexa is able to give you an answer that seems right or that is actually right within the context of the conversation you are having with it. How do you think this is achieved? And this is speech recognition, which is an aspect of artificial intelligence. And it has close ties with natural language processing in the sense that once you speak to your virtual assistant, the virtual assistant first of all have to understand the sound that gets to it, the speech that gets to it, and then there is going to be a component in there that converts your speech or the sound waves into text. And once it has the text of what you said with your mouth, the natural language processing system has to understand the text from the speech. And once this is done, the computer will be able to give you a good or a favorable response to your queries or whatever conversation you're having with it. This is an example of AI. We also have computer vision, which is one of the areas where modern deep learning have achieved a lot. And computer vision has to do with training computer systems to understand what is seen. So as far as the computer is concerned, when you show a computer an image, or when there is an image on a computer, all the computer knows is an array of numbers that are representing the colors that makes up the pixels in the image. Now, through computer vision, we are able to let a computer system understand the content of images. So all of a sudden, the computer can recognize that this picture here is a picture of a cat. This picture here is a picture of a car. This picture here is a picture of a house on fire. This picture here is a picture of breast that has developed cancer. This picture here is a picture of brain that is about to develop a tumor. So that is what computer vision helps us to achieve, and is also an example of artificial intelligence. And we also have expert systems. Expert systems are rule-based systems that are trained to replicate the activities of human experts. For example, if you go to hospital right now and then you need experts to look at X-rays to come up with diagnosis, it might not be possible, because if you have one expert and then there are 100 X-ray images to be interpreted, then it becomes difficult for that person to attend to all of them. But once an expert system has been built from the knowledge of the expert, from the knowledge of the human expert, that is, you collect knowledge from the human expert. You ask the human expert, what are the things you look at in an X-ray, let's say a chest X-ray, to determine whether this person is suffering from tuberculosis or not. And once the human expert gives you all the knowledge and the parameters that he or she looks out for in these X-ray images, you are able to codify them in a programming language, and that becomes an expert system. So what happens is, because that is a program, you can replicate it many times and then give it a lot of X-ray images, and it's going to come up with diagnoses based on the knowledge that you codified from the human expert. So these are examples of artificial intelligence, and this here is the definition of AI. It is a very broad umbrella term, and then in the next video I'm going to show you the different types of AI, which is weak AI, strong AI, artificial general intelligence, and then the many aspects of AI that you need to know about. So thank you very much for watching this, and I will see you in the next video.